something completely different. When I started my channel almost 2 years ago, I wanted to share with you my passion and my love of fitness. And we've done a lot of that over these last couple of years. And now I want to share with you another passion of mine, something that I have been fascinated with for years and years, and that is my love of jewelry. And my love of jewelry doesn't just extend to what can I buy, what can I acquire, what can I have. My love of jewelry extends to what are these stones, what's in them, what makes them look the way they do, what's the difference between one and another. And jewelry for me started 40 years ago. I started out in high-end jewelry retail in the early 80s, just after I finished university. And I then worked in the Cartier boutique, and years passed after that, and I got married, and I started having kids, and next thing you knew, I started working at Canada's preeminent fine jewelry auction house. I worked there on a part-time basis, and over the years, the more I saw, the more I wanted to know. And next thing you knew, I signed up with the Gemological Institute of America. I went back and forth to New York, and lo and behold, I am a certified graduate gemologist. And that, the more that I knew, the more I wanted to know. Many of you may have some familiarity with jewelry auction, maybe Christie's or Sotheby's, and you've seen these results, these astronomical results for $50 and $60 and $70 million for a diamond. And boy, that is exciting. But that doesn't tell you the whole jewelry auction picture. There is a vast, vast array of price points and pieces of jewelry. They are not all for the multimillionaires and the collectors. Many people are interested just in signed pieces, those designer pieces that are so coveted by many. Things like Van Cleef and Tiffany and Cartier. Of course, really desirable, but that's not the whole picture. And those are not really the things that I find so fascinating. I'm interested in, for example, why are these both opals, but they look so different? Why are opals often thought to be bad luck? For a garnet, have you ever seen a garnet this color? In my mind, as a youngster, I always thought garnets were just that dark reddish wine color. But look at this beautiful orange color. When we look at these two pieces, there's some obvious signs of the Deco era. This one has a beautiful center stone of a yellow diamond. But why is this yellow diamond not a fancy yellow diamond? Why is it not worth as much as something on the fancy scale? Those are the kind of things that I became interested in. Different things, like this, the style, where this screams Deco. This, with this yellow gold and big framing, screams 1980s. What about earrings? Why do we call these day and night? Well, because we can add an extra piece on to the bottom. Brooches. I love brooches. Some people don't know how to wear brooches, but I can really give you a lot of tips about that. We have brooches that come apart. Those are called double clips. Cute little novelty type brooches that can go anywhere. Nice little crown for the queen and me. Those types of things, they come in a lot. And people often say, well, who wears brooches? Well, I wear a lot of brooches. When I look at the blue stones, tanzanite, sapphire. Who knew that sapphire and ruby are actually the same stone, but a different color? They're both corundums. If they come blue, they're blue sapphire, and if they're red, those are called rubies. I have seen some fascinating things over the years at the jewelry auction, and what we get from one to the next is never the same. We get things that you would never even dream about. This past auction, we had a brooch that was apparently made from part of Napoleon's coffin. The story is that this homage to Napoleon is made from one of his coffins. The wood surrounding this and the coin is a commemorative of his children for Napoleon. The pieces that we get on consignment, and we don't own anything, everything comes to us from another source. So it could be your grandmother's, it could be a store closing, it could be a variety of different things. But we also get antiquities that are really surprising. So for example, in this auction, we have this piece, we don't know for sure, but it may very well be the necklace that Princess Mary was wearing in this photo. We've seen countless beautiful tiaras over the years. Even once we had a set of gold apartment keys, apparently belonging to Wallace Simpson. Don't know about the provenance on that one. Jewelry is also a slave to fashion. Things come in and out. In the 80s, everything was yellow gold. Yellow gold everywhere. Then yellow gold fell out of favor. Things moved from yellow gold into white gold or platinum. Now, yellow gold has had a huge resurgence once again. So everything old is new again, just like in clothing fashion. With jewelry, we've got the same thing going on. At the jewelry auction, we get a lot of couples looking at engagement rings. And we could do an entire segment, probably 5, just on diamonds and the basics of diamonds and the color and the cut and the clarity. And also the cost, and what are you looking for, and what are you giving up, and what about inclusions, and what about so many things. It is really, that is a very, very interesting aspect of jewelry. And what's gaining in popularity are man-made diamonds. Same composition as those found in the ground. A lot of people are going for that as well. That's another discussion that we could have. When I'm working at the jewelry auction, a lot of people ask me, where is all of this stuff coming from? And you would be amazed. We get things that people have stored in their safety deposit boxes their entire life that has never seen the light of day. We get people that are trading up because maybe this stone was too small and they're looking for something a little bit bigger. We have businesses that have gone out of business. We have specialists that travel the country and meet people that are bringing them their beautiful treasures. So there's a lot of different streams that jewelry auctions get their jewelry from. One of the biggest sources of getting jewelry into auction is through estates. Somebody passes away and they leave their children a whole pile of jewelry that they're not too interested in. And maybe they each keep a piece or so, but they want to translate that jewelry into cash. And the jewelry auction is the place to do it. When we start talking about signed or designer pieces in more detail, I want to go over it with you. Like, what makes it more valuable? Is it just because it says Van Cleef and Arpels? Or is there something that's really that much better? Are gold rings like this, because it's Bulgari, just as good as another gold ring? What about holding its value? All of these things come into play. You're going to pay more, but if you're going to sell it, maybe you're going to get more, or maybe you're not. So some things in designer jewelry may be worth it. Other things maybe not so much. But you never go into jewelry buying thinking it's an investment, because it very often is not. Buy it because you love it, because you want to wear it, not because you're going to save it and put it away and only pull it out when maybe the queen is in town. If you have a good eye, a jewelry auction is also a wonderful place for you to mine your own stones. So for example, at the last auction, I bought this kind of ugly necklace with a dyed black pearl rope with another one that's actually not too bad. But why did I buy this? I bought it for the beautiful pink spinel that is on the clasp. And I'm going to have that removed, and I'm going to have that set into another ring. So I kind of had to take the good with the bad. But the deal was I wouldn't have gotten that stone any other place. It's very unusual, very rare. You don't see these very often, and I was pretty excited about that. I never get tired of seeing vintage antique pieces like this platinum watch. And we have such beautiful things. And I'm just stunned because they're from 1800. So they're already 200 and almost 25 years old, or much older than even that. It's also fascinating the amount of antiquities we get. This one, this pearl and diamond bracelet, is from 1850, and the number of collectors that are interested in this type of vintage item, really astounding. And I can't believe the artisan that put these together, the workmanship, just the attention to detail. We get these things, these little micro mosaics, and if you loop it and you're looking through a magnifier and you see this, you just have to bow down to how beautifully talented, and a lot of this is a lost art, and you never are going to see those kind of things anywhere else, and it's really very beautiful to see. We have just barely scratched the surface. I could go on and on and on, which I want to do, but this is just a snapshot of why I love jewelry and the jewelry business and the stones and what makes up all of this super interesting stuff. And I hope that you're interested too, because if you are, I would love to do a lot more of this and focus more on different categories along the way and let my passion ignite yours and bring you along into my love of jewelry.